Welcome to today's Thought for the Day, and it's clearly obvious that I'm not recording this in the Tower of London nor in the Chapel Royal of St Peter ad Vincula, but in the little church of Timber Moor just outside Octorada. Barbara and I were invited here this weekend to attend the wedding of a friend of ours and for me to take part in it, and that was a great privilege to be part of Jack and Sophie's wedding. So today we're beginning to make our way back via Edinburgh to London, and as we were travelling we came across this little church of Timber Moor, and the reason I spotted it was because it had a sign saying Commonwealth Graves. So just beside me here, I hope you can see the grave, the First World War grave of Private Scott, who was part of the Liverpool Regiment, and died at the age of 25. And he, along with a number of other former soldiers, is buried here in the graveyard. This little church, I discovered, not only is important because of these Commonwealth graves, but for a number of other reasons. Did you know that the word Timber Moor means Mary's Well? And it was on this spot that there was at one time a Carmelite monastery, they think built in 1264. It was also on this site that the Battle of Montrose with Lord Montrose against the Covenanters was fought. And I also discovered, as I walked into this little church, which is now a redundant church, that this is where they recorded part of the series Outlander. And of course some of the most famous scenes of that 14-part series was filmed within the little chapel. Well, today I want to think about something different. I want to think about Harvest Festival. And this coming Sunday is our Harvest Festival, 26th of September. Unlike other services that go on in the year, that is for thinking particularly of Christmas and Easter, Whit Sunday, Ash Wednesday, Harvest Festival is relatively new. Probably came into our calendar mostly, thankfully, for the Victorians who wrote those great hymns, "We plough the fields and scatter" and the like. Now, I always think Harvest Festival is really quite important, and I always make a great point of that. It's a time when we really do give deep-seated thought, thanks, for something that is just so very basic and so important. That's the food that we eat every day, and simply where it comes from, and to give thanks to God for that. I hope that wherever you are, I hope you'll be able to come to church, but if you're not able to come to church and you're at home, you might just pause and give thanks to God for the food that we eat. It starts to become more obvious about that thankfulness when, like at the very beginning of the COVID in March 2020, we were hearing rumours that our shelves in the supermarkets might start to become empty, and people went, and bought all they could and left the shelves empty, made it very difficult for those who found it difficult to get to shops to do their shopping, and gave us an opportunity to remember again with thankful hearts all that we do eat every day. As I draw your attention back to this grave here, I'm reminded of the soldiers that I've served with over the years who've gone to places where people have been very short of food, and it's thanks to our servicemen and women on land and sea and air that relief has been brought to the suffering of those who have little, and that in the end some of the battles that have been fought have enabled people to eat again. Also, Harvest Festival gives the clergy, I suppose if I'm honest, that opportunity to remind us that there are people in the world who will wake today, tomorrow and other days worrying about where the next meal comes from. So I wish you a very happy Harvest Festival, whether you're going to join us in church or whether you will be at home. And Barbara and I send you our very best wishes from this little church almost in the middle of nowhere, which we simply came across, but like so many small places like this, has such a deep history associated with it.